Welcome back to the channel, Cyborg Pirate and cyborgpirate.com. All right, we had one of our customers ask us the difference between the flat line and the 24-pound cave line that we offer on our spools. And we are offering both of those, and those are color choices and line types that you can select in our online store. So a couple of different things. There's a number of differences. Typically, cave line comes in 24-pound or 36-pound size, and what that is done by diameter. So, for example, the 24-pound cave line is roughly 2 millimeters, and depending upon there are some that come in the 21-pound line, but they are not, as far as I know, they are not the nylon. Those are actually also made of polyester, which is the same thing that the flat line is made out of. Now, I personally prefer the cave line. The 24-pound cave line has long stood the test of time. It's worked very well. It being nylon, it does handle and last longer in the sun. Now, diving underwater and putting these in caves and doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be something that needs to survive in the sun. However, when these are clipped off to your BCD or clipped off to your back plate and harness, sitting on the deck of the boat, maybe you store it in your garage and the sun hits it once in a while when it's open. Just one of those things that polyester does not hold up well in sunlight. UV rays really destroy it, and so nylon does not deteriorate near as fast as polyester. So that is the biggest reason why I choose the 24-pound cave line. Now, it does have its disadvantages to its use as well. For example, this is not one of my spools, but this is one that I have modeled some items on my spools for my design. But this came to me, this is a prepackaged deal, and the polyester line that's on here, it's nice and flat, but there's 150 foot of line on this. There's 100 foot of line on this. So the polyester does lay flat and give you that ability to run more line on your spool. So that is something that you may want to take into account. The other thing is the polyester line does not stretch. There is no dynamic ability in that at all. So once you set that line and it's set tight and it's something you're leaving in place, polyester is good for that. Just keep in mind, as long as it's not being affected by ultraviolet rays, because it will deteriorate very quickly, actually. Whereas the nylon will not. The nylon, you can't place as much of it on the spool, but there again, that's a personal preference. The flat line also does not work on reels very well, because it does twist and it does not on you on the reels, which makes it a snagging and bird's nest hazard on the reels themselves, whereas the spools, they don't get wound near as tight, so that does not become as much of an issue. So that is another reason why I like the 24-pound, because I'm a reel fan, not a spool fan, and so therefore I'm used to the 24-pound cave line. Some of the other things that come along with it, this is a lot harder to feel in gloved hands. Now, you warm cave divers, you're not usually wearing gloves, and so that's okay. You can feel this very nicely with your bare fingers. But if you are someone who wears gloves, you're in colder water or water that does get cold, and you wear gloves for any reason, the polyester flat line is harder to keep track of and feel. So I haven't found it to be harder to wind. It's actually, I don't notice a difference between the two. In winding them, it's actually about the same, so that's not an issue. So it really boils down to personal choice as to which one that you want. The braided nylon line is dynamic, and what that means is that it does stretch. It does have some stretchability and some elasticity to it. So once you lay that line and you've got it set tight, over time it's going to loosen up a little bit on you, and you're going to have to retighten it at least once. And again, that's that may or may not be a problem for your type of diving. That's the line that if you are going to leave it in the cave. Now, if it's something you're using your SMB with and sending up to the surface, again, choose either line. It doesn't matter. Just keep in mind that the polyester will deteriorate faster, and you will be replacing this line on your spool faster than you'll be replacing the 24-pound cave line. Also, the polyester flat line tends to be a little more expensive. It's not much. It's about 1/2 cent per foot more expensive, which is not a big deal, but when you're replacing it and it does come up, that's over time that can be an issue for you. So those are the big differences between the polyester and the polyester flat line and the braided lines. Again, the typical cave lines come in 36-pound and 24-pound. I offer the 24-pound on our spools. And the 21-pound, which is typically also a polyester line. So again, no dynamic, but it is braided like this, and it's just a little bit smaller. It's about 1.8 millimeters in diameter. So anyway, that's what we have for you today. Thanks for checking us out. Cyborg Pirate, cyborgpirate.com. We specialize in customized dive gear, so look us up and order yours today and get your specific orders that you want for your taste in there. Cyborg out.